For me, the most important thing is the story that I'm telling. Whether it's a scary set piece or a dramatic moment, it all comes down to the characters, and if you care about them. Aquaman is very powerful, but what drives him comes from a very human place.
His story resonated with me instantly. He's not accepted here, not really accepted here. I definitely could identify with that.
I fell in love with the project and fell in love with Mira. She's no damsel in distress. She's a strong, badass, empowered superhero.
With Aquaman, the trick and also part of the fun is designing a whole different world that we've never seen before. You're pretty much just limited by your own imagination.
There's just a whole lot of magic on this project. Once they put all these things together behind James's vision, it blows my mind still.
The appeal of it was to step into something else. You really are invigorated because of it.
You get to experience all these amazing worlds. We haven't been under the ocean yet. This is our outer space.
I keep going back to that inherent fascination that we have with the ocean. And if it turned on you?
Just the sheer vastness and the mystery of it. There's still a lot we don't know.
I've always known that I want to do an action movie. I get to be a big kid on the playground and cause trouble, blow things up.
Your body is constantly working. You're doing judo, jiu-jitsu, fight choreography.
After 4.5 months of stunt training, 6 days a week, you feel pretty superhuman.
I get to present Aquaman to the world in this really badass and cool way.
We have never seen this on screen. And that's the truth.
You get to fall in love with the idea of what it's like to have these powers and be a kid. And that's fun for the family, it's fun for everyone.
We want to create something interesting. We don't want the standard. James Wan can't do the standard.
Any great superhero story should make you feel that you've learned something from these characters, and you yourself have the ability to do good. And you don't need a cape to be able to do that.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. We got a whole bunch of new Aquaman footage to break down, mostly a behind-the-scenes trailer, but you actually get a couple really cool comic book moments, and you get a much better look at some of the characters. There's a new round of that IMAX ticket giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave an Aquaman-related comment on the video. So the big thing they start off with is actually the forging of Atlan's trident. I don't know if they're going to call it the Trident of Poseidon, but you probably saw that the quindent that he used during Justice League and Batman v Superman, everything up to this point is his mother's. So that's what he's training with on the beach here with Volko. This is a moment right out of the comic book. If you haven't read it, this is the New 52 run. I would recommend checking that out. It's actually pretty solid. It's Jeff Johns through and through. There was an arc that they were going to do called Unite the Seven Seas that they ended up having to cancel because everything got rebooted during Rebirth. So I assume whatever the plot of that was going to be, they're going to deal with it during the movie. So it seems like when she goes back to Atlantis to resume her duties as queen, she leaves some things behind for Arthur when he gets older, and her quindent is just one of those. There's a whole bunch of new Mira footage, but the cool thing about Mira is that in some extra material that they released for the film, you get a look at childhood scribblings of Aquaman's in journals that he was writing about himself. He was learning about normal world history as well as Atlantean history and started to wonder about what's going on with Mira. So he thinks about King Nereus. He has a daughter that's about my age living down there. It'd be so much cooler to live down there. So it's a way for them to show you how he's not really welcome on land and he doesn't really know what's going on down at Atlantis, but he assumes that it's better at that point. But as an adult, we know that he feels like he's shunned by them, or at least he doesn't feel welcome there. So that's why during Justice League, it seems like he's trying to avoid Atlantis as much as possible. This is another shot of Dolph Lundgren, King Nereus inside his full armor. You notice there's a couple different types of armor that you see. These are Atlantean soldiers. It's Merc working with Black Manta. So Ocean Master really does give Black Manta all his coolest toys. Like you can see him without his gear on holding one of their guns here. Very alien looking, very Aqualine. It'll be cool to see a lot of the underwater architecture too. This seems like the underwater cave where he goes to get that trident. Like, you know, when he walks out of the waterfall and bangs it down and he's wearing his comic book armor. This seems like whatever that set is going to be. It's probably just some underwater cave in some secret location that has something to do with the trench. There's an awesome looking shot of Mira wearing her crown. I don't know, people are kind of back and forth on Amber Heard, but I feel like she definitely looks the part. You see a bunch of newspaper clippings showing that even though he doesn't want to have anything to do with the world, he is trying to help people up and down the coast all throughout his life. So when we get to Batman v Superman, you see that little clip of him. That's him being a superhero without really thinking of himself as a superhero. Like, he's trying to do a good thing, but he hasn't really found his way yet. So Justice League was sort of the beginning of that. Like, he found a team, found a family, and now he's ready to deal with all this. There's a bunch of external shots of Amnesty Bay. It looks beautiful, but the iconic lighthouse is a really big comic book location, so it'll be fun to see that. More of Mira on the beach wearing her crown, looking like she's either ready to receive something or prepared for something really bad to go down or really pissed off about something. She has a resting face that makes it look like she's getting ready to punch someone at any moment. Couple of really good underwater shots of her in her costume getting ready to go meet with Vulko and Aquaman. This is a good example of how they shoot their underwater scenes. So notice that this is all dry here, but when we watch it during the movie, it'll have like that blue tinge to it and it'll be underwater. But I really like the way that they color her hair special, because obviously this is meant to look like it's underwater, so light will bounce off her a little bit differently. Her red hair, the green costume would just pop a little bit better on screen than they would above water. All these scenes of them on this boat here with this crazy rainstorm seems like it's from this scene in the trailer when they're getting ready to dive into the trench. You see him grab the flare, he throws it down here. It looks like there's this giant maelstrom and all these people of trench coming up. So this might be sometime later in the movie because it looks like a pretty big action set piece. This is the skeleton of one of the trench dwellers. We've gotten a couple shots of them in the trailers so far, but not a really solid look yet. This is another one of the members of what they call the fisherman race. Historical context, when Atlantis sank and the 7 different kingdoms split apart, theirs just evolved to become more aquatic-like. So they're much more powerful underwater than normal Atlanteans, but they're completely unable to go above water. But the Atlanteans and the people of Zebel are about half and half, a little more humanoid. They can survive just fine above water, but they do a little bit better underwater. This is actually a really good shot here. They have a camera inside the mouth of a whale, looking like either Aquaman or someone is going to swim in it, or there's going to be an underwater shot of it eating something, and they're going to give you this crazy perspective of it. Really good interview with the actor that plays Black Manta. There is a rumor right now that there's a mid-credit sequence on the movie that will be mostly Black Manta-oriented, setting up sequel stuff, because the actor did say that he would appear in future DC movies, but he didn't say which ones or what his story would be, so obviously he's probably not going to be a super huge character during this film. They'll just introduce him and get him up to his comic book level, then maybe he winds up being the big bad of the second film, or a much bigger villain than he is in this one. This Ocean Master interview that Patrick Wilson is doing seems like it's inside some Atlantean structure, so this is kind of what the inside of their buildings look like. We got a little shot of their throne room in one of the previous trailers, but you haven't seen a whole lot of the inside of their structures. Just the outside, because you get that shot like you got in Black Panther when they first fly into Wakanda. They do the same thing when they drive the ship into Atlantis for the first time. You get that big wide vista, like look how crazy this is. There's a cool shot of Mira in the bar here looking like she's using her powers to grab all the water from the bottles of liquor, so maybe she's trying to get Aquaman's attention. It seems like when she's first come to try and get him to help out. But overall, looks pretty solid. Everybody, let me know what you're most excited about. I've already done that non-spoilery breakdown of all the early reviews that have posted so far, but what's going to happen next is there was a really cool Captain Marvel prequel story that they published within the Infinity War Avengers 4 storyline, so we'll do a breakdown of that tomorrow, and we found out about another alternate version of the Captain Marvel Infinity War post-credits scene. So we'll do a breakdown of all that stuff, no worries. Congratulations, Juan Cena, you're the giveaway winner for my last big DC video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your contact details. Click here for that brand new Flash crossover trailer, and click here for my Stan Lee tribute. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.